Does anybody got a smart ass comment before I'm actually gonna start, or are we gonna
Oh,
wait?
we
Oh,
wait for
wait.
those smart
Okay,
ass
we'll wait. We'll
comments.
wait. All right. Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's podcast.
Fuck them Cowboys.
Oh, go Pack, go!
One of the few times you'll hear me drop an F-bomb on this show.
That was pretty awesome.
That was epic and worth postponing a night to do our podcast to bask in the revelry that was the Packers destroying the evil Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now that I'm a Packer fan, I'm on board with us winning, but man, I still hate the Cowboys more than I'm a fan of any other one team. So,
In football or in all sports?
I don't know. I might hate the Texas Rangers more. I guess I have a thing against the state of Texas for some
Yeah.
reason.
Should we just give it back to Mexico?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, the Cowboys aren't even Texas's team.
Oh wait, no, they're not America's team. They made
No,
that shit up.
I was gonna say they're not even Texas's team. You got the Texans.
Oh yeah, the Houston Texans, who won a playoff game, maybe for the first time in their franchise history. Justin, I'm gonna lean on
No,
you. Okay, all right,
they won, I think, a couple with Watt.
okay, because I know they haven't been to the playoffs very often.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't know who to root for in that game because part of me wanted the Browns to go very deep into the playoffs because I wanted Joe Flacco to be like, see, this is why they brought me in. And also why you should, why you were stupid to give Deshaun Watson all that money. But two, like, the Texans just look damn good. Like,
They did.
Jeremy, you got any, you want to weigh in on any of this or?
You're doing great.
That's it. The Texans have been to the playoffs in 11, 12, 15, 16, 18, 19, and now in 23.
Okay, that's way more than I thought they had been.
Yeah. I don't know what Cleveland's been. When's the last time Cleveland was there?
Uh, uh didn't they go like a year or two ago?
Could have,
I know
you
this
know,
was the first time in almost 30 years the Lions hosted a playoff game.
2020. 2020, and then before that it was 02. Before that was 94, and then the 80s.
Yeah. How and then I know the Lions hosted a playoff game for the first time since like 1992, 1993, and it's only like the second time they've been to the playoffs since then.
Yeah, that sounds right. Let me see. Lions. 2016 lost, 2014 lost, 2011 lost, 99 lost, 97 lost, 95 lost, 94 lost, 93 lost, 91. Hey, they won a game.
This is the first playoff game they've won since 1991.
Yep. When they were at home versus the Cowboys.
I work with two people who have been alive shorter amounts of time than since the Lions have won a playoff game.
Since 91. And the Packers have more playoff wins in AT&T Stadium than the Cowboys do.
Don't the Packers have never lost in AT&T Stadium, right?
Correct.
Suck it, Dallas. Suck it long, suck it hard.
And then I seen a thing where this will be what is this? The ninth matchup between the Packers and the Niners in the playoffs.
The last couple have not gone well.
Rodgers is 0-4. Favre was 3-1.
Okay, well, let's hope that Love takes more after Favre than he takes after Rodgers.
Well, Favre and company. I gotta assume there might be some others in there.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe some Lynn Dickey in there. Don't know about Mikowski. But it's good. I'm excited for this game. Cautiously optimistic.
I'm more excited about this game than I was just because of how well they played against Dallas. But I also have repeatedly said for the last 3 or 4 weeks that I don't think there's a team in the NFL that's going to stop the 49ers from winning the Super Bowl this year. So
that is currently not the attitude of a Packer fan. Packer fan is we're going in and we're winning.
Hey, I have a Packer shirt now. I received a Packer shirt for Christmas.
Okay.
And I have worn it. I wore it to watch the Packer Bear game at the bar with my fantasy league. And then I wore it yesterday, and they have won both times I've worn the shirt. So
looks like you're wearing that shirt on Saturday.
Absolutely, I am. Oh, by the way, I know I put something on Instagram and Facebook about it, but I won my fantasy league.
You did.
Yay.
Unimpressed yay from Jeremy.
And a clap.
I take it that Jeremy did not win his fantasy league.
No.
Did you at least make the playoffs?
That's a no.
Oh, okay. I had to win the last game of the season by tiebreaker to get into the playoffs. Like I had to, going into that game, I had to, not only did I have to beat the guy that I was playing, I had to beat him by a minimum of 23 points. Or he was getting in the playoffs regardless of whether I won or lost. Well, I mean, if I lost, he was in, obviously, but I beat him by like 60.
Excellent.
And then for some reason, I became a savant, and every decision I made in both playoff games was right. I don't know how it happened, but it did, and I'm $250 richer because of it. All right.
All right, pizza party at Nicholas's.
The money is already gone.
Oh, wow.
Well, I guess technically not. I have 100 set aside for when I go to Vegas in a couple weeks.
Pizza party in Vegas.
All right.
But my plan is to come home with the $100. Well, about 70 of the $100 because I'm gonna buy like a souvenir or something. But I don't plan on doing much gambling. I'm not going out to Vegas for vacation. It's a work trip for the company that I work for.
Just going for the buffets.
I'm not spending a dime on the hotel or food from the second I get picked up at my house by my boss. So,
all right.
The only money I'm going to spend is on a souvenir. Other than that, this trip is my wallet is staying in my pocket.
I forgot it at home.
The only reason I'm taking it is because of the airport, and I have to have ID.
Yeah.
So should we talk about, before we get to the subject at hand, should we talk about the other? I mean, just to keep the focus on me, because that's what this is. It's me. It's not you two. It's just me.
We're just guests.
The game show I was on started airing. So I can talk about more of it now than I could before. Still a lot I can't talk about. But last night, after the Packers destroyed the Cowboys, this ugly face was on TV multiple times.
Right. We did not watch it. I'm speaking for me. I'm also assuming I'm speaking for Jeremy.
How dare you? Was that you looking at my window last night?
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it, and I saw the pics.
Like Darnell Savage pick and Jair
I saw
picks.
those, yeah.
Have either of you watched? Have either of you watched an episode of We Are Family yet?
I watched. I did watch a little bit of it last night.
Okay. Did you see this fat ass on the screen?
I saw it. Yeah. Well, I saw your picture too on
Oh,
Facebook that
okay,
you
yeah.
showed. Yeah.
They put me next to oh geez, I know the one girl's name was Joni. I think the other girl was Lisa. They're very nice girls. They're very nice people. But they're tiny. So tiny. And I was like, I knew based on where I was standing on the stage because I was dead center, like top row, like I was gonna get seen on camera because there was nobody to the left of me, like as I'm facing the screen. So like, to my left, nobody was there. To my right were two very tiny girls. So I mean, I'm big anyway. Like I'm 6'1" and overweight to begin with. But you put me next to two girls who are like 5'3", 5'4", like, and they're small. Like, I look like a fucking giant.
Yeah.
And of course, the first episode they aired was the worst episode that I performed on in the 3 episodes that I was in. I completely choked on Candace Cameron Bure. Yeah, I know. Watching the episode, I'm watching the clues, and I'm just like, how did you not get that? You're a fucking moron. Like,
Oh, harsh.
so, well, the clues are so obvious. I mean, one was a Golden Gate Bridge, one was a DJ, one was Kirk Cameron, one was the phrase TGIF. What was one of the other ones? But those are, I mean, they gave us 6 clues. Yeah. Oh no, one was a picture of a full house, like 3 aces,
Like
2
cards.
queens. Yeah, cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Somehow I looked at that and went, I don't know, Reba McEntire, Ozzy.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can hear that one.
Ozzy, don't touch. You're not on mic, Ozzy.
Ozzy's over there getting excited.
Yeah, no, and I mean, and I will cut myself a break on the second one because even watching back the episode, I still don't know who Lauren Elena is. I don't. I was in the room. Yeah, did either of you? Yeah.
No.
Like I don't like country music, so I don't follow it. I've never watched an episode of American Idol.
Yeah, I never would have gotten that.
So that's why only 7 people got that one right. I mean, I feel bad for her because like she's on the show and she's like, "Look at my brother, he's great." And we're like, only 7 people got it right.
Wait, I thought you were the relative.
Yeah, people
Is
are
someone
gonna,
more famous coming out?
people are going to know me. No.
Yeah, I mean, it was and then the last one was Jay Farrow. I will tell you,
Oh yeah.
I mean, they cut a lot of what he talked about. I mean, a lot of what he said was after the camera stopped rolling. He gave us like a little like maybe 5-minute stand-up set. Like he did a bunch of his impressions for us and like just was. I mean, he's hilarious. I mean, he was great.
That's cool.
I mean, and that's all I'm allowed to talk about. I mean, if you want to talk about the 2 episodes that I wasn't on but have been aired, sure, we can talk about that. But this is not a We Are Family podcast.
Cam Newton.
I would have gotten that one right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Well, I mean, the clues for that were pretty obvious. It was a quarter.
Yeah.
It was a football, fancy suits, and then a panther.
Yeah.
And I don't
Did they
remember
reference,
what. And then the
reference
last
number
one.
one.
And then
at
the
all in
last
there?
one was a camera.
Hmm.
So if for
Nothing
some
with,
reason,
like the number one or like Auburn.
yeah, no, they didn't say. But I mean, if for some reason you were like Jake Delhomme,
Yeah.
the cam would have given it away. But yeah, but I wasn't in the room for that one. That was one of the ones I just got told about afterwards. So I will say that of the celebrities that have been revealed so far that I am allowed to talk about, I'm super pissed that I was not in the room for Joel McHale.
Yeah, that would have been a cool one.
Yeah. Because I mean, obviously, I think all 3 of us we're big fans of Community.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm a big fan of Joel McHale in general. Like that's why I watch Crime Scene Kitchen.
Same.
That's why I started watching Animal Control. Now the show is funny.
Is it?
I'll enjoy it.
Okay. I was curious. For real.
Okay. I thought you were making a point. No, I mean, it's it's stupid, but it's funny. Like it's just, I mean, it's a sitcom about
Yeah.
animal control in Seattle. I mean, how it's not it's not earth shattering, it's not,
Right.
Yeah.
but it's still, I mean, it's Joel McHale doing what Joel McHale does. I mean, he was great on Talk Soup, and you name it, he's been funny in it. So there's a couple celebrities coming up that we'll talk about that I was a little more angry that I wasn't in the room for, but one of them, I think, if you're a long term listener of the podcast, you will know why and know who. And that's the probably way
That's
too big of a hint that I should be giving.
uh,
But hey,
that's as far as you're going with this
that's as far as
conversation.
I'm not saying anything else. But yeah, no, so it's interesting. And when it's all said and done, I would like to tell you guys some behind the scenes stuff and some, things that I'm allowed to talk about.
Will there be a second season?
I think based on the ratings, the first episode had pretty high ratings. The second episode was a little down. The third episode, because they aired it on a Sunday night after the Packer game,
So
that
it
they
had
beat the
ratings because no one changed the channel.
yeah. I mean, it had like 5.6 mil viewing, and that was the live. It doesn't talk about, like, I don't know how they uh take into account Hulu and however else people watch stuff on demand or on DVR. So
Hmm.
I mean, that's pretty impressive. 5.5 million people watched me on TV. I mean, they didn't know that they were watching me on TV because it was just some fat guy they kept showing randomly throughout the episode. But
You should have had like a pop culture roulette shirt or something.
they were very specific in what we were allowed to wear.
Uh,
They picked the outfit for us. I mean, we gave them well, I don't
you
think
just
this is
you wake up and someone's outside the hotel room with a shirt. Here you
not.
go.
They had me send them 5 outfits, or pictures of 5 outfits, and then they sent back 3 of them and said, "We want you to bring these 3." And then when I got there, they made me wear all 3 of them, and they're like, "We like this one."
I want that person's job. The outfit picker outer.
Yeah, it's probably AI outfit picker outer 3000.
Well,
Pick
one of the
that
people,
outfit.
well, more than one person, but one in particular, he brought his outfits, and he got there, and they're like, "We don't like any of them. Here's a different outfit."
Jeez.
So they had like a whole rack of clothes that like didn't weren't owned by anybody. I mean, it might have been lost and found. I mean, it's a studio, so who knows how long it's been there. I did discover that Lego Masters, the Will Arnett show, is filmed at the exact same location as the show I was on. So like, month or two before I was there, Will Arnett and Legos were being
No
which
golden bricks found.
no, I didn't find any Legos or golden bricks just laying around. So,
That would have been awesome.
hey, Will Arnett's still hanging out. Hey, can I be on this show?
Right, yeah, I'm sure that's how Joel McHale actually gets on shows.
It just shows up.
He's just hanging out in the studio
Oh,
somewhere.
I mean, he does appear on just about everything,
Yeah, especially what is it, Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably just in like a studio somewhere, just to wander around the lot, opening random doors. What we filming in here, guys?
Hey, can I be on this one? No. Are you sure? All right, get in here.
Yeah. He just walks on set and starts talking. And I'm Joel McHale. All right, leave it, I guess.
All right. I mean, should we tell him he's not on this one? I guess he is now.
We just won't pay him.
Just, here's some cake. Ooh.
He just go, yeah, for craft services. He just wanders in for lunch and stays for an episode. I mean, that's how I'd want to do Hollywood.
That gives me some ideas. Maybe that's how we should just. I know where the studio in Atlanta is. Maybe we'll just go hang out there. They'll just start letting us on stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Maybe that's our summer plan. We'll just take a trip down to Atlanta, hang out at the studio until they're just like, all right, you can be on this show.
Yeah. Do you need extras? Do you need background? Do you need contestants?
All right. Well, given that Hollywood is out of ideas, this year they seem to really be out of ideas. I don't have a good
This
segue.
this year's only 15 days old.
Well, you just wait till I tell you what's about to happen this year, because this year,
Oh shit.
so we've talked about it briefly here and there, but we've talked about like sequels for movies that like came out way after they should have. What would you say would be a good time frame for a sequel? Like how many
Like a legitimate frame
right,
for a
yeah,
sequel.
like they've done a movie and you want a sequel for it. What's the time frame where you think would be acceptable for a sequel?
3 to 5 years.
Okay. What would be outside of that where you're just like, all right, it's too late, get over it.
Double digits. Anything over 10.
Okay. Would
Because like
you
if it's like 3 to 5, you would say maybe something happened where it got postponed to 6, 7, like some kind of strike, some kind of natural disaster, something like that. But anything after like 10, just it's done.
okay.
Yeah, I think those are good numbers. I like those.
Okay.
I agree.
Well, here's some numbers that are going to blow your mind then, because Hollywood has decided they're going to give us a sequel to Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice 2,
Yes.
scheduled for 9/6/24. 36 years since Beetlejuice.
I was gonna say, what was the original? 89?
You know what? I did not write down the original dates. I just know it was 36
Come on, man.
36 years. Ozzy, stop. That's
Come
a
on.
microphone. You're going to make it hard to edit this.
88.
Okay, 88.
March 30th, 1988.
Okay.
Gotta do research for you on the fly.
Absolutely. And just be prepared to do a lot more of it because I didn't write down a lot.
Yeah, I type like an old person.
Okay. We are also getting Twisters, the sequel to Twister.
Oh my God.
On 7/19/24. It has been 28 years since Twister.
May 10th, 1996.
We are also getting Gladiator 2 on 11/22/24.
So stupid.
24 years after Gladiator.
May 5th, 2000.
We are getting Beverly Hills Cop Axel Foley, aka Beverly Hills Cop 4, which will be 30 years. And it will be on Netflix at some point this year. 30 years after Beverly Hills Cop 3. So they did
May 25th, 1994.
Yeah, so they did 3 sequels like real close to each other. And then they were like, let's take 30 years and then do the 4th one. They are going to start filming Heat 2 pretty soon. Like they've got the script, they've started hiring actors. It's supposed to start filming this year. Heat is that a 9 or a 1? When did Heat come out?
Which Heat?
The one with De Niro and Pacino.
Okay. December 15, 1995.
Okay, so 29 years then. I mean, now Heat was an amazing movie. Doesn't need a sequel. There was nothing like at the end of it where you're like, no, kind of like Gladiator, quite honestly. Like,
yeah.
Like it felt like Gladiator was pretty self-contained, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Because doesn't Russell Crowe's character die?
I mean, I think that's about the extent of it. Yeah.
Okay,
so maybe it's like an illegitimate son.
Oh, okay. This one's a little up in the air, but Karate Kid, they're working on a sequel to the Karate Kid franchise. Now they're ignoring the Jaden Smith one. That one is
Jackie Chan.
That one. Next Karate Kid, I did write this one down, so you don't have to look that up. Next Karate Kid, the one with Hilary Swank, came out in 94. Now, I don't know if it counts because it is going to be involving the TV series, which is currently filming and airing. But it started in 28. I mean, it didn't come back. So from 1994 to 2018, they didn't do anything. But would you count it as a long-term sequel because of the series? or does the series take away the fact that it was a long-term sequel?
Since it's a series, I wouldn't count it.
Okay. So
Like if
we'll
it was like a made for Netflix movie, I would count it. But TV series, I'd say no.
okay, yeah, because I mean it would well, I guess it was
Otherwise, let's count the Beetlejuice cartoons.
But I don't think the Beetlejuice cartoons were canon to the Beetlejuice movie.
I still want to count them. They're good cartoons.
That didn't say they weren't. I'm just saying I don't think they were canon to the movies.
I will get this podcast off the rails.
That is why I have you here.
The rail buster.
Okay. Also, Robert Downey Jr. has said that this is one of his top priorities is to do Sherlock Holmes 3, the last one of which came out in 2011. So, not quite as long, but you did say double digits is pushing it.
Yeah.
So,
are those good movies?
I liked them. I thought he did a very good job as Sherlock Holmes. I thought Jude Law did a very good job as Watson. I know some people were mad at it because RDJ is not British, but whatever. I can get over that. It's called acting.
He's also not black.
What does that have to do with anything?
Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But I say I'm gonna have to do some editing there, but no, okay. All right, yes, you're right.
The pause and expressions were priceless.
That was I thought maybe we were gonna get ourselves canceled. It's like, okay, no, you're right. Okay, yeah. Okay. Vince Vaughn claims that he is actively working on Dodgeball 2.
When does that come out? 07?
04.
Wow. Holy
04.
crap.
So I love Dodgeball. I've watched that movie probably 20, 30 times.
Yeah, it's a solid movie.
Solid movie. Do I want a sequel 20 years after?
No.
Okay.
Do you?
I don't know. Do you?
I'm torn on that one because I love Dodgeball. Most of the cast other than the main guy who he was killed in the movie and he's since passed away, but everybody else is still alive.
So if they brought everyone all back and it was just old guys getting beat up by dodgeballs, that could be kind of entertaining.
Rip Torn is Patches O'Hallahan.
Yeah, Patches O'Houlihan, that's right.
Rip Torn.
Yeah, Rip Torn.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be for it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Part of me wants it, but then another part of me has a whole nother list that we're about to debate of why I'm not sure I'm for it. This one's for you, Justin. Constantine 2 was supposed to start filming, and then the strike happened, and now it's up in the air again. But this is the Keanu Reeves Constantine.
I would be for it.
Even though it came out in 05.
Yep.
Okay.
February of 05.
I thought you said you typed like an old man. You're on the
you're
ball.
Cruising.
You're cruising.
I do type like an old man.
Okay. This one I will need a ruling on, much like the Cobra Kai one. Shrek 5. Shrek 4 came out in 2010. But apparently there were the two spin-off movies, Puss in Boots, that happened in between that. So do the spin-off movies keep it from being a long-term sequel, or because it's Shrek 4 to Shrek 5? Because the spin-offs were, say, in-universe spin-offs.
Justin.
I don't know. Well, like Puss in Boots was 2011, and then the sequel to that was 2022, so that was already 11 years. So they've already expanded
within their own.
Yeah, they already went past 10 years.
But does Shrek?
I would have to say I'm still for it.
Okay,
they have a Shrek the Musical coming out this year.
Do you legitimately care about Shrek right now?
I still love the first movie. I enjoy the second one. The third and the fourth one, I don't remember the fourth one. I know I went and saw it in the theaters. but I don't think I've seen it since. The third one I think I've watched once or twice since it happened, but like, I mean, the first one is why I bought a DVD player.
Yeah.
You know,
The first one was awesome.
They,
Yeah.
like I said, they do have a Shrek the Musical coming out this year. That's going to be on tour that I may or may not plan on seeing in Milwaukee.
I think they did that in one of the high schools, not in the last few years, because I think my wife went and saw her cousin do it, or went because I don't remember.
This will be one at like, where did we see Weird Al?
Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra,
At the Performing Arts Center or whatever.
Performing Arts Center, yeah.
I think that's where this
Oh,
musical
okay. So
will be.
the kind of place that legitimately should be where they are not seeing Weird Al.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Where they do like plays and
Right.
theater.
Where I went and saw the Nutcracker.
Where I went and saw Hades Town.
Yeah. Not Weird Al.
Weird Al.
Which I'm not gonna
not
lie.
complaining though.
Right. I mean, Weird Al was probably better than Nutcracker. And not probably was better. I didn't fall asleep during Weird Al.
I fell asleep during the Nutcracker too when I saw that live. The cannon scared me awake.
I believe it was being elbowed. Wake up. You're embarrassing me.
I'm embarrassed to be here.
Okay. Before we get into the list of ridiculously long sequel times, I need a ruling on Star Wars because it kept popping up on the list that I was working on. I don't agree with it. So you have Return of the Jedi in 1983. And then you have Force Awakens in 2015. So you got a 32-year gap. However, in between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens, you have the prequel trilogy. So does the prequel trilogy, because they're trying to say that, oh, it's the biggest gap because it's 32 years between sequels because
6 to 7.
Right. I say it doesn't count because you're still getting Star Wars movies.
Right.
I agree.
Okay. So Star Wars will not be featured on this list then. I tried to write it in order, but then everything got haywire. So we'll just start here. Bambi 2 has the longest break between movies. 64 years between Bambi and Bambi 2.
August 21st, 1942.
That's insane.
64 years. Mary Poppins Returns was 54
What?
was 54 years between Mary Poppins and Mary Poppins Returns.
What's that?
That's that one they did a couple years ago with Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins instead of
I didn't see those ones. That one.
I didn't either.
I like the original.
It has been so long since I've watched the original. I don't like musicals, so I don't want to watch it.
That was Dick Van Dyke in there?
Yeah, that was Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews.
It could be. I don't know. I liked Dick Van Dyke's character, the chimney sweep.
Jim Chimmery, Chim Chimmeroo.
Exactly.
All right. Then we go Top Gun Maverick. There was 36 years between Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. I will say that one was actually good. Like Top Gun Maverick
Maverick
was really good. So it's one of the rare ones on this list where you're like, all right, yeah, okay. You took 36 years, but
you got it right.
You got it right. Because then we get to the next one on the list, Blade Runner 2049. 35 years between the sequel. It was awful.
So that one you stepped in a pile.
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, granted, to be fair, I didn't like Blade Runner either. So
I didn't mind the first one, the original.
I need to watch it again. I remember the one time I watched it just not being thrilled with it. How about Coming to America?
How long was that?
33 years. 33 years between Coming to America and Coming to America.
I can say with all honesty, I've never seen either of those two.
The first one is amazing. The second one is okay.
Is
Like,
that Prime?
I can't remember if it was Prime or Netflix, honestly.
I
It was
haven't seen that
one
yet.
of the two. I have you seen the original one, Justin?
Amazon Prime. I haven't seen either of these.
Oh, you would love the first one. It's great. McDowell's.
Yeah.
Uh, I do highly recommend Coming to America. The sequel, watch it because it's Eddie Murphy and it's not terrible, but I mean it's not near as good as the original. All right, here's a sequel that's actually very good. Mad Max Fury Road. There
Yeah.
was 30 years between Thunderdome and Fury Road.
Okay.
And in fact, Fury Road was so good. They made a movie for that. I can't remember if Fury Road, if Furiosa is a prequel or a sequel to Fury Road, but either way, it reignited the whole Mad Max franchise, and we're getting that way faster than 30 years between.
Yeah, the first one was 79, the second one was 81. And then Fury Road?
Thunder Road or Thunderdome.
Fury Road just was 2015.
Yeah. Wow. Fury Road was 9 years ago already.
Yeah,
Ah,
2015.
wow. Hey, look at me doing math. Almost on the list again, but not quite according to your standards.
They saved themselves, provided no delays.
Okay, Tron Legacy. I liked that one. I thought that was pretty good. There was 28 years between Tron and Tron Legacy.
I didn't see Legacy, but I also didn't like the original.
Uh, it's one
Soft
of
pass.
it's one of those I think you had to see at my age when it came out.
When I was -5.
Yes, because in what did you say, 85?
82.
82. Okay, so I don't think I didn't see it in the theaters because I would have been four. So when I was a kid in the mid 80s, that was pretty cool. The light cycles, like live action video game stuff. Like now it's secondhand. Like everybody does it. Who cares? Technology. But then like it was mind blowing technology. So I think those of us that are a little older maybe have a soft spot for Tron. But Tron Legacy, I thought was
And,
a pretty good.
and like Jeremy said, those of us who are a little younger have a soft pass for sure.
Soft pass. I
Uh,
like the
this
soundtrack.
this one will, I think, has been up for debate on this podcast before. Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh, the more and more years that go by, the more and more I'm like, that movie just like unbelievable that they even put that out. Like it's really not that good.
No, it's not.
It's
It's not as bad as some other movies that are on this list.
yeah.
We'll get to. Actually, I don't know if that one's on the list.
Well, what do
I
you
don't.
count with Dumb and Dumber?
I choose not to acknowledge that movie's existence.
Okay.
I don't really
I,
remember it too much besides the Bob Saget scene of him
as
screaming.
Dumb and Dumber to Dumb and Dumber was 9 years. And then it was 11 to Dumb and Dumber 2.
Okay, yeah, because I
I
have.
wouldn't count
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Um,
getting dumber just by saying that title.
I would say that Dumb and Dumber 2 was better than Zoolander 2.
I didn't even
I'm
see
starting to
it.
realize a lot of these sequels that came out all these years later, I just didn't bother to watch. Dumb
Oh,
and Dumber
okay.
2, Zoolander 2. I'm just kind of like, I'm not watching that.
Now,
It's gone. It's been too long. I just, nah.
okay. Well, now we're on to a franchise that has two giant gaps in it. And there's another one too, but for this one, we'll get there. You have a 19-year gap between The Last Crusade and Kingdom of Crystal Skull with Indiana Jones.
Saw that one. It was trash.
Yes. But you have a 15-year gap between Crystal Skull and Dial of Destiny.
Didn't
So,
watch that one.
it's okay. It's better than Kingdom of Crystal Skull, but not as I would put it more in line with Temple of Doom. It's not as good as Last Crusade or Lost Ark, but better than Crystal Skull. But yeah, so you have a 19-year gap on one side and then another 15-year gap. If they try to put another like 10 to 20-year gap, Harrison Ford will be dead. So
CG is a crazy thing.
Godfather 3 was a 16-year gap between Godfather 2 and Godfather 3. I never saw 3, but I have widely heard of it as being a terrible movie, and most people hate it. And I'm guessing, based off of our criteria, is because it was a 16-year gap.
I've never seen any of those movies.
I think you should watch Godfather just to say you've seen it.
Yeah,
And
did you say that about A Christmas Story?
no, but Christmas Story is actually good.
And I won't watch that one just to say I've seen it.
But I will say that I watched Godfather. I didn't like it. I know a lot of people are going to be very angry, and they're going to start throwing things at their car stereos and swerving off the roads and hitting light poles.
It's rough driving out there. Don't do that.
I didn't like Godfather, but watching it made me understand a lot of Simpsons references and a lot of other like parody references in general. Because a lot of people use that movie as a benchmark for a lot of things. People love it for some reason. I don't know why.
It's good. It's good?
It is good.
All right.
You know, everyone's got an opinion.
Right,
so
yeah.
Some people have to let theirs be heard sometimes, even if they're wrong.
That's why they make so many movies. We don't all have to like the same movie, and that's all right. Like, you can like Godfather. I'm not mad at you for it.
No, I mean, I'm not even like in love with it. It's just, I think it's good. I thought it was good, but you know,
I just didn't like it. You know, like I don't like Scarface either. But I've come to determine I don't like a lot of those gangster movies. I just
never seen that one either.
It's just, I guess it's just a genre that doesn't speak to me like other movies do. I love Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I know most people will say that's a bad movie. I disagree, but
yeah, I mean, I love a lot of movies that people would probably say are horrible.
Yeah, especially a lot of the stupid comedies. That and a lot of the 80s style action.
Yes.
Yeah, you get Stallone and Schwarzenegger in there. Even the Expendable stuff, I'm in.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to one of those franchises here pretty soon. Finding Dory has 13 years between it and Nemo.
All right.
Didn't see it.
I saw both of those.
Yeah, well, look at that. Finally, the movie that you've seen both of.
It helps when it's an animated one, and at the time there was a small human in my house.
I mean, there still is a small human in your house, to be fair.
They're like a medium-sized human at this point.
Oh, okay, all right.
Double digits.
Okay, well, I mean, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as Nemo, but staying in the Pixar world, Incredibles 2, there was a 14-year gap between the two.
Wow.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
Well, I tried, but I
saw the first one. I never saw the second one.
I started watching it once. I fell asleep, and I never got around to watching it again. So I'm going to do that, though, one of these days.
The Incredibles is in my top 10 of movies, so I was going to see the second one in the theaters, so there was no way I was missing that. One day we'll get a Fantastic Four movie nearly as good as The Incredibles, and yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
There was a 14-year gap between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World. I would say that was a step up. Jurassic Park 3 was okay. Jurassic World was very good.
I haven't seen it.
Do you guys know you're on a pop culture podcast?
I've seen all the Jurassic Park stuff. Anything with dinosaurs, I'm usually in.
Okay, well, we've got a dinosaur coming up here pretty soon too. Actually, we'll skip right to it. Rambo 4.
Wow.
Lived it.
I thought you were going to say how they're talking about remaking Land Before Time.
No, Rambo 4. There was I guess technically it was just Rambo, but it was it was the fourth one. There was a 20-year gap between 3 and Rambo. There was an 11-year gap between Rambo and Rambo Last Blood, Rambo 5. So also a
I'm
franchise
all,
with multiple.
I'm all for
Last
all of them.
Last Blood?
Yep.
Yes.
I saw with this daughter, right?
Where
I
did
don't
that
know.
come
I think
from?
I think she's having like a party in a cave system that he's like made.
I've
Holy
only seen
shit.
I've only seen
I
Rambo's
believe
1, 2, and 3. I've not seen 4 and 5. So
4 was pretty dope.
I've heard it was pretty good. I didn't watch it.
yeah, I think Last Blood has to do with his daughter. Like I said, if you put those guys in the movie, I don't care how far of a gap it is, I'll probably watch it.
What about Bad Boys 3? Have you seen that one?
Nope.
Okay, so
No.
Will Smith.
I've only seen the first Bad Boys.
Okay, well there was a 17-year gap between 2 and 3 on that one. Birds 2 or The
Bird.
Birds.
Like Hitchcock?
Yeah, Hitchcock Birds.
I've seen that.
Apparently there was a 31-year gap between Birds. I didn't even know they mid a sequel
Yeah.
to that
Who made
movie.
a sequel to that?
Probably somebody who shouldn't have. It was just on the list repeatedly because of the gap, and I didn't.
What the fuck? That's unreal. I'm gonna find out who made that right now.
Okay, well we'll talk about Return to Oz in the meantime.
All right.
Are they going to make another Rambo movie?
I don't know. It's Stallone. He's possible, but he's doing that Tulsa King show now, so who knows? Return to Oz. There was a 46-year gap between Wizard of Oz and Return to Oz.
I've not seen the sequel.
That was
Well,
that movie came out in the 80s and it freaked a lot of us little kids out. It was creepy as hell.
what did you think of Tin Man? Is that what it's called?
I don't know if I watched it. I meant to because Zoe Deschanel's in it.
Yeah, the Zoe Deschanel miniseries. I remember watching some of it. I don't think I ever finished it.
Yeah. Well,
I remember thinking that was good.
that's par for the course for you watching an
All right.
episode and then
This is the story of this. Well, Jeremy's still looking stuff up. Remember when, for those of us who are older listeners, we had a thing called Blockbuster.
yes.
And when Blockbusters went out of business, clearance sales. They would
Mhm.
like
Yep.
games, movies.
Yeah. I
And
remember that.
it was a series I wanted to watch. So they had it. So I bought Tin Man and I watched it. And then when it ended on a weird spot and I looked and they only gave me disc 1. They never gave me disc 2.
Oh.
So I got as far as what I owned, which was half of it.
Okay.
And
So
then I just was like, well, now what do I do?
at least there's a reason
Yeah.
for
This wasn't just me watching it and stopping.
unlike every other show that you.
No, I only had the first disc of the first part of the series. So I watched it and then I never bothered to look where I could stream it because streaming
Okay.
wasn't really a thing back then.
You can stream it on Peacock, the Roku channel, Hoopla, Tubi, Crackle, Pluto. You can stream it in a lot of places.
I'm in Peacock. I have that one.
Yep. All right. That might be the way to go then.
Yep.
You might want to rewatch the first part of it because I'm guessing it's been long enough that you've forgotten most of it.
Yeah. When did Blockbuster go out of business?
A long time ago.
08, 09?
Yeah, well, it would have had to have been after 07 because that's when Tin Man was on the air. So
08, 09? All right, Jeremy, who made The Birds 2?
Rick Rosenthal, the same guy who directed Halloween 2. He was credited as Alan Smithy on this film.
so
And
so he directed it and was like, I want nothing to do with it.
yeah. And it was a made-for-TV movie, and yeah,
And garbage.
it was horrible. Should not have been made.
All right.
Well, speaking of, here's one. Disney apparently is masters at long-term sequels. Because Fantasia 2000 was a 59-year gap.
Wow.
Wasn't the first Fantasia one with like the dancing hippo and crocodile and
I
Mickey as the
believe.
wizard?
Yes.
Making the stuff. Okay. I liked that one when I was a kid. I like the music and the bright colors.
But let me guess, you didn't see the sequel.
No,
Oh, okay, all right. Here's
good
one.
guess.
Here's a franchise that I know you've seen all three of them because I've watched at least one of them with you. Clerks.
Oh, I've seen all of them.
Hey.
12 years between Clerks and Clerks 2. 16 years between Clerks 2 and Clerks 3. So that's a franchise built on taking long gaps.
I mean, it's not like he was doing anything in between the movies.
I mean, he was busy, but,
Yeah, sure he was.
making other movies. But a movie that you probably didn't know they made a sequel of because most people don't want to admit that it exists. Basic Instinct 2. There was a 14-year gap with that one.
Didn't see it.
Yeah. Escape from LA, the sequel to Escape from New York. Oh.
I think I've seen the first one. I think is that with Kurt Russell?
Yes.
Mhm.
Snake Plissken.
Yep.
See, I'm surprised you didn't watch that because that one is kind of in your wheelhouse for like 80s action stars.
I mean, I don't think I've seen it.
No, okay, all
Doesn't
right.
mean I.
That was a 15-year kid. Rocky Balboa. So Rocky 6. There was a 16-year gap. Apparently, they made a Psycho 2 as well. There was a 23-year gap, which from now that I'm reading it, I remember doing some of the research. They actually worked into like the fact that there was a 23-year gap by saying it was like him getting out of prison from what happened in the first one. So I was like, okay, at least you like did something.
Yeah, acknowledged it.
Acknowledged the 23-year gap.
Yeah, that's cool.
Carrie 2, there was a 22-year gap. Wall Street Never Sleeps, or Money Never Sleeps. There was a 23-year gap.
Never seen either.
Neither have I, quite honestly.
I don't think I have either.
Disney once again with a sequel to Peter Pan, Return to Neverland, 49-year gap.
I saw the first one.
Holy crap!
I saw Peter Pan.
And then for the last one, there was a movie called The Hustler. Back in the, it's about pool. Calm down. I think it's Paul Newman. But Color of Money was the sequel, like 25 years later. So, basically, I would say overwhelmingly, though, if we knew that the movie existed, most of the sequels were not good. There's a couple of them that
and if they waited too long, we just didn't watch it.
Well, you didn't watch it. Yeah.
Jeremy didn't watch either.
Yeah, Jeremy just chooses not to watch anything.
He's a little busy. How's Down Periscope?
Oh, pretty soon. Yeah.
At this point, you're just not going to watch Down Periscope so that we can continue making the Down Periscope joke, right? Just like
yeah.
Okay.
It's just gonna randomly appear on like a freaky film club of him just reviewing Down Periscope
by himself.
It's been an over a decade long joke now.
It has.
Oh
yeah,
man.
I lent that to you when we still worked together.
Well,
in the big box.
Don't you worry about
retail world. Now we work together in the Master of Custodial Arts.
Yeah, just keep moving up slowly but surely.
Yeah.
One ring at a time.
So, I had asked you to come up with some movies that you would like to see sequels to.
Did you?
I did.
Yep. I indeed. Yep.
So at least one of you is pretending to have done the homework.
I'm ready.
All right. Why don't you go? We'll let you go first, and then Jeremy, you can catch up. I mean, Justin, you can catch up.
Get it right. I'm catching up this time. I'm the slacker.
Justin, you don't have any?
I didn't even realize I was supposed to do anything.
I'm pretending that I have something,
You're
okay.
stalling.
All right. But I'm going to. Well, when I found out for real that you didn't have anything, I didn't want to like make you look completely like the bad guy.
Uh,
So I
do
had
it.
to
Do it.
admit
It's
it.
fine.
I had to admit that I didn't have anything. So, no, let's see. What would I like to see
All right, I've got a
sequel-wise?
couple things that I actually wrote down. You want me to go?
All right. You can
Okay.
go first.
I thought about it, and it's the only Adam Sandler movie that I think I'd actually like. I love Waterboy, I love Billy Madison, I love a lot of those ones, but
I'd say Happy Gilmore should have a
yes,
sequel. Oh,
that's the one.
don't steal my answers, Nicholas.
Don't. Okay, well, here, Happy Gilmore actually written down. You want to
No,
try to steal
I
some?
was trying to
You want
steal
to try
some
to
more.
steal some of the other ones that I
Oh, those are
have?
good. I like
Oh, okay, all
those.
right,
I like
Yeah.
okay,
those.
all right. But yeah, so I would say I because I think Adam Sandler's probably too old to do Waterboy, and like him being the coach, I don't think that works. Like I don't think that'd be funny. But I think
Well, it'd be a little funny.
I think, I think he could
He's a
still,
teacher.
I think he could still work with him playing golf. Like I think,
Yeah.
yeah, that doesn't, I think Happy Gilmore the sequel could still work. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I agree. I'd like to see that.
all right. District 10, I'd love to see the sequel to District 9.
That one
Like,
I'm not going to steal from you because I never finished that movie. I thought it was boring.
oh,
Wow, get the fuck out of here.
I don't like found footage.
Get the
yeah.
fuck out of here.
Any of that
Two.
found footage style.
All right, that's fair.
Hellboy 3. I'd love to see the sequel to Hellboy 2, like the Golden Army with like the Ron Perlman Hellboy.
Nice.
Yeah, two also have David Hyde Pierce, or was he only in the first one?
I think
Who
he was
dat?
only in the first one.
What?
Not Niles from Frasier.
Oh
The blue-
yeah.
the blue guy.
Yeah.
I wrote down.
How about Frasier coming back all those years later?
Well, I didn't do TV shows. I only did movies. There was.
Um,
I mean, I had enough time. I could have done TV shows, but maybe we'll do that in
no,
another
an
episode.
idea.
There's an idea for another episode. All right. I wrote down Galaxy Quest. Now I'm not so sure about it anymore. At the time, I was like, yeah, but now I'm like, yeah. I kind of talked myself out of it after I went back through the list and went, that's been too long. Maybe it just won't work. Shaun of the Dead. I think those guys are smart enough to figure out how to make that work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit could be a lot of fun. I think on the list that we went through, a lot of more of the animated sequels probably worked, but I don't think you're held to the same time restrictions and, actors being, 40 years older.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, that's what I got down on my list for things I'd like to see sequels to.
Can
Nice.
I see a Twins 2, the reunion?
I've heard they were talking about it.
Give me some Arnold and Danny DeVito.
I know
Maybe have Lucy DeVito in there as well.
I know at one point they were gonna have Eddie Murphy and call it Triplets.
No, that's dumb.
But that clearly fell apart and never happened. I mean, they had announced it, but then it didn't, for whatever reason it fell apart. I don't know if that's when he became governor or people finally were like, no, that's dumb.
I'm just trying to think of some of like my favorite movies to watch. Like a lot of them have sequels or sequels wouldn't work. Like Princess Bride. I don't know how you would do a second one to that.
I don't either. I'm surprised they didn't, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. Otherwise, a lot of Mel Brooks stuff would be on my list, but Hard Again to sequel. Don't think you're making Blazing Saddles 2.
Not in today's climate.
Might be able to get away with like a Young Frankenstein too. Maybe.
But
otherwise, they keep pumping out Rambos and Rockies and Terminators. They make big gaps in those movies. I'm surprised they didn't make any list.
No, because it wasn't none of them were quite long enough of a gap.
Yeah, even I'm trying to think of
I
some
know
movies
this
off
is
the top of my
hard.
head.
I thought I could come up with something with enough time, but
Well, see, and that's the problem. I think that's where we get into it. Where like you've named a couple movies that you really like, and were standalone movies, and they were made back in the '80s or early '90s, and you're just like, it's been too long. I don't want to see a sequel to it. Like, even if they teased it at the end, like, or an after credit scene, like, and then it just never happened. Like, at some point, you just have to be like, it's time to let it go.
I like to see him make a sequel to the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yes, but that happened last year. So
well,
Doesn't mean I wouldn't like to see it.
you're
unless
in
you
luck,
and
pal.
unless you are talking about the John Leguizamo Super Mario Brothers,
Maybe I am. That
and
hot
There's a
then
pile of
comic.
hot pile of steaming garbage.
and then at that point we have to question your sanity. But
Yeah, no, I'm.
I'd like to see a sequel to Wedding Crashers, just off the top of my head, because it's just a really watchable. I know they'd fuck it up somehow, but first
Now,
Wedding Crashers, I mean the only Wedding Crashers in this universe, is a very watchable movie. It's just I
what
could
would the sequel partake?
I don't even know. You just have them like crashing again as like the new couples. It's just a new generation, and somehow
What happens if it's like some younger people crashing like their kid's wedding?
or
okay,
And
yeah.
he's like, I know what you're doing. I
or would it
was you.
be Funeral Crashers?
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Come to think, how long was Borat to Borat 2? That movie maybe should have made the list, but it never came across the.
Hmm.
Yeah, it never showed up on one of the lists that I made. So maybe it wasn't quite long enough.
Borat was 2006
Wow.
and Borat 2 was 2020. So 14
Oh, it
years.
should have made the list then, but it never did, huh? Interesting. I never saw the second one. I did see the first one, but I also saw the first one like in 20. When did you say the second one came out? 2020?
I don't remember what I just told you. Yeah, 2020.
I think I saw the first one in like 2019. So
I didn't see either of them.
Like movie came out when I was in high school, and so it was like
It was right in that
people
time
were,
for you.
oh, it's golden.
yeah, well, I mean, I knew of it, and I mean, I knew. I mean, everybody was. I mean, I could have probably
Quoting
done the
it,
Borat.
yeah.
I probably could have done the Borat voice with having never seen the movie, but
Yeah,
Right, yeah. People just wouldn't shut up.
yeah, very nice. Even The Office was doing that.
yeah, yeah.
And
I,
I've
I
still never seen Borat.
I don't I like that dude. I think he's funny.
he can be.
Yeah, he's very hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people love Ali G and Borat, and like there was
I
definitely
think when he's a side character, he's more tolerable.
like I really like. I thought he was really good in like Talladega Nights.
Exactly, as a side character.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I mean, Borat was funny, but like I didn't fall all over myself the way people were when that movie came out. Now, maybe had I
Same with
seen it,
Napoleon Dynamite. That movie was garbage. I still don't get people's obsession with that. As Jeremy looks angry,
man, the two. I'm just gonna let the two of you duke it out. I don't know if the two of you have ever turned on each other before. This is great. Go.
Get the fuck out of here, Justin.
the sequel.
I don't know. I like that movie a lot. I like
I watched it and I was like, this movie's trash. Someone owes me time of my life back.
that.
I watched it and enjoyed it, but I didn't get why people were as obsessed with it as they were. Like
That was 2004.
I was in that rare camp because I at the time 2004 when that movie came out, people either fucking loved it or hated it. There was very few of us that were in between. We're like, yeah, it was funny, but like it wasn't that like it wasn't all,
Yeah. I remember seeing it like before, but I was kind of like a hipster about it because like a couple of friends and I saw it before a bunch of people, and then our friends started quoting it like weeks later, and we're like, "This movie is stupid now." Like we saw this movie a long time ago, but I don't know.
It's considered a comedy western.
What
Napoleon
is?
Dynamite?
Yeah.
How is
No,
it a comedy western?
when I search it, it says comedy western.
That's
In
weird.
in a nutshell, deadpan, charming, and awkward.
Other than the fact that it took place in Idaho and like there was a scene with a llama, like how is it a western?
That's what it says on when I Googled it. Comedy western.
Yeah, okay, well, hmm.
Oh, I don't know. We have to
No,
rewatch it.
I refuse.
There is enjoyable parts to that movie. It's not that bad.
Can't do it. Won't do it. You can't make me.
Okay,
Vote for
so
Pedro, Justin.
what? All right. So, since we've been vamping, any movies that have come to mind that you'd like to see a sequel to that hasn't been a
You
sequel?
No, I'm
that's
just getting annoyed with Napoleon.
how about that Tom Cruise movie where what is it? It's not Live, Die, Repeat, but
Edge of Tomorrow.
that's it. Yeah.
I was gonna
They
say the
tricked
one,
everyone into thinking it was a different title when it came out on DVD.
the one where he's running.
I
Yeah,
never saw that. I think I own it, but I don't think I've ever watched it.
It's
it's
a good one.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that Tom Cruise
Let's
just.
turn back on Nicholas now. It's
Yeah,
a good
it's
one.
good.
What are you
Uh,
doing?
I think Tom Cruise just signed some sort of big time deal with some movie studio that happens to own the rights to Edge of Tomorrow. A lot of people were like, "Well, do the sequel."
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
sequel would be good.
I'd like to see that. Um, yeah.
How about we acquire the rights to some classic movie that people talk about like in tones of like this is one of the greatest movies of all time, and we do a sequel of it just
Okay.
to just to
Okay.
Casablanca too.
that's the one I was thinking of. Get out of my head, you weird creepy fuck.
That's what I do.
Well, since I don't know what the plot of the first one is, I don't know what the sequel would be about.
I'm not entirely sure what the first plot is either.
I've never actually watched Casablanca.
It's just one of those movies. Citizen Kane.
Casablanca.
It has something to do with World War II and Nazis. I know that much, but only because I had to do an episode on it for Moving Panels. We did Barbed Wire, that terrible, terrible Pamela Anderson movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying that it was basically a bad remake of Casablanca, which if you really, really stretch and
Squint.
squint and really massage, like you might be able to say it's a sequel, not a sequel, but a remake of Casablanca. But I did like a worst comic book movies, and that was the one that won, and so then I was forced to do an entire episode, so I had to watch the movie a second time, and I was mad about it because it's not good. It's so bad.
Fair.
All right.
I believe they did like a Mafia 2.
I mean, if it was like Mafia, I'm all for it.
Was that the parody one with
Jay
Yes.
Moore?
Jay Moore.
Okay, yeah, okay. I think I saw that one like
It wasn't very good.
20.
It's pretty ridiculous.
When did that movie come out?
98.
Then I must have seen it in 98, 99. I think we rented it when I was in college.
I saw it in '98 at the drive-in, the double feature.
No. Do you
I used
remember
to
what
go. I used to go to that a lot.
was there a drive-in closer to East Troy at the time, or did you
Yeah,
go?
it was in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay. I
We
went.
go out there a lot by my grandma, so I remember seeing like Dennis the Menace, Free Willy, Armageddon, Mafia, Wrongfully Accused, Batman Returns, Cool World. There's some other ones in there I've
You
seen
got to see
there.
a lot of cool shit over there.
I did.
You also got to see a lot of shit.
A lot of
Yeah,
just shit in
the,
general.
the Avengers.
Oh,
Wait.
what?
I think the Sean Connery, is it Sean
The
Connery?
the Sean Connery Ray Fine one,
Yeah,
the one not related to Marvel.
I saw that one there. I don't remember. I'd have to actually think about it and what I've all actually seen there.
The last time I went to a drive-in theater, it was still open in the Kenosha area. I saw it was Cars 2 and Green Lantern.
I remember you telling me about that on the way to a Brewers game. You were not a happy camper.
I think it's the reason that the drive-in got closed. It was like they ran a double feature of Cars 2 and Green Lantern, and people were like, that's it, we're done. Like, just wrap
We're
it up.
done here.
We're done here. Just wrap it up, close this. It just close this
I,
place down.
I saw Mr. Magoo. I remember that one. Apparently, I just went and saw a lot of Leslie Nielsen stuff at the drive-in.
Apparently, they were just like Leslie Nielsen driving, and your family was like, "Hell
Me and
yeah, let's go!"
me and my dad. Here we go.
When I was a kid, my parents would take me and my sister to the drive-in a lot because they could just like make a big old bag of popcorn and put it in the van, and we had a van, so like we had our own seats, and like very rarely did my sister and I ever watch the second movie, but we were there for the first one.
Austin Space. I remember I saw that movie there. So I think Matt LeBlanc's in that one.
Yes.
Saw that one there.
I I would go to a drive-in um if they opened one again. The drive-ins are fun, but there's only a certain time of year that I would do it.
Yeah.
Like right now, obviously, there's no way in hell. I mean, -11 when I woke up this morning. What time? What is
Yeah.
it right now? It's
There's one in Franklin. That might be the closest one to us.
well, that's the one that the Milkmen at the Milkmen Stadium they do like sometimes
Yeah,
during the summer. Yeah, right.
Milky Way Drive-In.
Yeah, right now it's -5. So I don't want to even go outside to go to work, let alone go sit
What's
in
the real feel?
the -21.
All right, perfect.
But then again, in the summer, like when it's like, in the 80, high 80s, mid 90s, I don't want to go sit in my car.
True.
True. Yeah.
So like it's got to be like that perfect like couple, little month or two in the spring and then a month or two in the fall. So,
Yeah.
Jeremy, you don't have a lot of experience with drive-ins then?
I've been to the one that used to, I don't know if it's probably not still in Kenosha anymore, is it?
No.
That one's long gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that one we used to go a couple times. I remember seeing movies there. Really couldn't tell you what I saw though. Must say it wasn't really that memorable.
I saw War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise War of the Worlds there,
Oh, nice.
and somebody hit my truck.
Oh, not
And then there
nice.
was a war of words.
No, because I got out and they had a fancy car, and
Was that your green truck?
yeah, it was my big green truck. My big green truck parked in a parking spot, not moving, somehow got hit. Yeah, figure that one out. But yeah, they did way more damage to their fancy car than they did, and they did no damage to my car. So I was like, if you want to file a police report, you're the one that's going to be paying for your car to get fixed. I'm good with just letting it go.
Yeah.
Not worth my time. Anybody watch anything over the last month or so that we haven't recorded?
Watched first 3 episodes of Echo.
Oh, is that any good? I haven't started that one yet. That's next on my
Yeah,
list.
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, one of the reviews said that Echo gives them hope that Daredevil is going to be really good.
Hmm.
I don't know if we talked about it. I watched the Percy Jackson show. I've been keeping up on that.
Wow.
I've been still watching some Monk. I watched the Packers, and I watched the pilot of Elf randomly. I don't know why. It's just
Nice.
I was like, all right, like Nicholas, let me watch something that's 30 years old.
Oh, well, see, at lunch, I started watching Gilligan's Island, so I decided to go even older.
Couldn't be outdone.
I'm still in the black and white episodes. I hadn't even made it to the color ones yet. I did watch all but the last episode of Monarch. I think it just happened in the last couple of days, quite honestly.
Free trial.
Yeah, I got a 3 month free trial of Apple, so like that I was really enjoying that show.
I've learned that I need to start watching something when like a whole season's out, and I'll just binge it. Because if I have to wait a week for another episode, I just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I do like waiting a week because then I get to think about it and digest it. But at the same time, like I'd rather just watch a bunch of episodes right at one
Yeah.
right after another.
Yeah, especially if I have to remember to watch something in a week. I'm probably not going to remember.
I rewatched the original animated Tick.
Nice.
All right. That's what, 90s?
Yeah,
Early
or
90s?
mid
3,
nine
4?
mid nineties. Yeah, they're all on Hulu, so I watched them. It's real easy to watch like 3 or 4 of those episodes in a row because they're like 20 minutes, like 20, 22 minutes a piece. So like, yeah, it's. But all right then, I guess. Jeremy, you got anything you want to plug? Anything you got going on, or
Well, not too much. You can check out the YouTube channel at Media Pod Smash. I think the latest video is me unboxing a giant NECA bag.
yeah, I
And
haven't
no
had.
ghosts in this one?
There are definitely no ghosts in this one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Not possessed.
There's a ghost in the Necro Capsule Past.
That's right. That's right. Spooky.
Nicholas looks confused.
I watched the first 2 parts. I haven't watched the third one yet.
Very spooky.
Yeah,
Spooky.
But
I did.
yeah.
Like a werewolf bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
I did thoroughly enjoy the Christmas pod,
Oh,
the
thanks.
game. Very good, very good.
Thanks.
I finally broke down on what. There's something I watched. We can talk about that. I finally watched Christmas Evil so that I could listen to that episode, and then Jerry D over at Totally Rad did an episode of Christmas Evil. So I'm like, 2 birds with one stone. All right.
Nice.
Um, I was blown away by the fact that I listened to 2 episodes on Christmas Evil, and neither of you pointed out the fact that the guy who is the main character in that one, Brandon Maggart,
Uh-huh.
is the father of Fiona Apple.
Oh, really?
Yeah, neither. It's a very big important thing that he did in his life. I mean, it was Christmas Evil and Fiona Apple.
I have no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, like
Nice.
yeah. I was kept waiting for somebody to bring it up, and then I was like, neither podcast brought up the fact that the lead actor of this movie is probably more famous for being the father of Fiona Apple than the lead actor of this movie.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a damn shame though because he was good.
yeah, it was a weird movie. It was interesting. I didn't hate it. I didn't necessarily like. I don't think I'm gonna add it to my Christmas playlist.
Yeah. Won't be on like rotation.
Yeah, no, it's not going in there with Home Alone and Scrooged. But,
Do you
but
think the ending was actually him? Do you think that was real?
no, no. I think 1 to 2 seconds after the camera cut, he crashed.
No,
Yeah, I
he
mean,
was Santa.
I think that in his head, that's what happened.
Justin, you got to see this movie.
But
Right.
I think in reality, he just plummeted to his death.
Oh, poor guy.
Um. Okay. Anything else? Anybody? You, Justin? You got something you want to talk about? Anything you want to plug? Anything else you want to bring up?
I ain't got nothing to plug.
Okay.
Plug free at this moment.
Plug free. All right. Well, that's good. All right then. If you were a child of the '90s and watched TGIF and were obsessed with a lot of those shows, and somehow we're on a game show where Candace Cameron Bure was the secret celebrity and couldn't get that one right, remember, stupid never walks alone.
Comic books have been around for almost a century, and in the last 2 decades, we've finally gotten to see many of these characters brought to life in movies and on TV. On the Moving Panels podcast, we discuss movies and TV shows based on, inspired by, and adapted from the world of comic books. Join me and my guests as we discuss both the good and the bad from Marvel, DC, and even some of the lesser-known comic book companies. Learn what is and isn't from the comics, as well as our nerdy review of the movie or show. New episodes drop every Monday, and you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. So join us for Moving Panels, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to an 80s Flick Flashback podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Do you love movies of a certain age? Do you miss the days of VHS tapes, VCRs, and the video rental stores? Does the thought of another 80s movie being remade seem inconceivable? My name is Tim Williams. I'm the creator and host of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. On each episode, I'm joined by guest co-host to discuss one of the many movies released in the 1980s. We share our first-time watch memories, our favorite scenes, and even learn some behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew along the way. New episodes are released every other Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. So make like a tree, get out of here, and go listen to an excellent episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. The ad is over. Go home. Go.